problem number 2 says you have 3 candidates for student government. Each tell 3 people that the election will be held next Tuesday. Those 3 people each tell 3 more. Write an expression to model the number of people that will hear about the election by next Tuesday. So this is an interesting one to do. On the first tier, I've got 1, 2, 3, right? So I'm going to label that as the tier. So how do you guys want to label that? I'm going to label like with function notation. So I'm going to let x be the tier. So in other words, when x equals 1, because this is the first tier, right? This is like the first tier of people.
Yeah.
How many people do I have?
3.
3. So I'm going to call this f of x, which we usually think of as y. So I'd say when x equals 1, f of x equals 3. Okay? Now on tier 2, I'm going to focus on these people, because this is tier 2. So if we count those, how many people do we have?
That's 9.
9. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I'm going to write down 9. When we get to tier 3, if I write this out, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. How many do I have total if I can count? 27, right? So this is an extension of what we did the other day. So now, if I choose, I want this one.
You have to drag it.
Oh, here, we'll just use this. So now if I look at this, what do I do to get from here to here? What's that pattern? Times 3. Now to double check that pattern, what might I do? Multiply 9 times 3. So if I multiply by 3, that gives me from 3 to 9. If I multiply by 3 again, that gives me to 27. Well, okay, that pattern's recognizable. But what am I doing to this 3 that gives me 27?
You're multiplying by, you're adding, what? What was the question again? I forgot.
Well, the question, I'm glad that you asked that. It says, write an expression to model the number of people who hear about the election held next Tuesday.
Well,
So now if those 27 people meet and tell 3 people about the election, what will the next number be? In other words, tier 4 would be what?
27 times 3.
What's 27 times 3?
9. I mean, no, never mind, that's dividing.
Somebody said 81, right? So it's 81. Now what did I do to 4 to get 81? Let's back up. What do I do with 1 to get 3? I could multiply it by 3, but what do I do with 2 to get 9? That one's not so easy. So watch this. If I say my model is f of x is equal to 3 raised to the x, would that work?
What?
Yeah.
No.
Would that work?
No.
No, it would. Well, yeah, it would.
Wait, well,
Because that'll give you like.
need some time to think about this.
Yeah, take a second to think about it.
Oh, yeah.
I think it would because when you like fill those numbers in there, that's the number that you get.
Mm-hmm. So if I, in other words, if I, for this, we know that when f of 4, in other words, when I let x equal 4, that's the fourth tier, how many people are we supposed to have?
81.
81. So now if I say 3 raised to the 4th, what does that equal?
That's 81.
That's 81, because it's 3 times 3, which is 9. That's 2. That's 3 raised to the second. Times 3 again is 27. Times 3 again is 81. Now that one's a little more challenging than the ones we did the other day, but that is correct. That would be 81. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Alright, I'll give you guys a second to write that down. Do we have any issues?